That full year adjusted pre-tax number coming in line. The full year revenue a little bit soft though. Why was that?
Well, I think that we've sold a few pubs over the last few years, so our like-for-like sales are unusually higher than our overall sales. But I think overall we're happy with the way that sales are going.
What's been the impact on you sourcing products from abroad in terms of the weakness that we've seen in sterling? Has it had any impact?
Not too much. I mean, we've been in business for a long time. The pound has fluctuated a bit, which does have an effect on input costs. But we haven't noticed anything too bad in recent years. It was post-2009 when the pound went down much more than it has recently. There was a more marked effect, but that was survivable. I think a floating currency is a good thing. It's an automatic stabilizer. You've got far more problems when you link currencies together, as they've found in Greece and Spain, and it becomes too high for your economy.
Yeah, and Tim, actually, we have seen some strength in sterling this week on optimism that we could get a withdrawal deal come mid-November. Will we get a withdrawal deal with the EU, in your view, in 6 to 8 weeks?
Well, I hope not, actually, because I think a deal is a bad thing. I think the EU is a protectionist organisation with thousands of tariffs, which push prices up in the shop for customers. So if we don't have a deal and we embrace free trade like New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland, prices will go down in the shops. We can avoid paying £600 per person to the EU as a divorce gift, and we can have control of our own fishing areas. So I actually think we'll be in a much stronger position on a free trade basis, which some people call no deal.
But what about the free movement of people and the people that you employ in your pubs?
Well, outside the EU, it's perfectly possible to have a reasonable immigration policy. And in fact, I think 2/3 of the immigrants to the UK come from outside the EU. So I do believe in immigration. I think countries like America, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore have done very well because they have a fairly liberal immigration policy, and we should too. But you don't need unelected presidents in the EU to decide what your policy should be. I think that's the thing. It's immigration controlled by people we elect in the UK.
You're getting rid of a lot of EU products, including Jägermeister, for example. Are there more cuts coming for those products?
Quite possibly. As we've said, the EU is only 7% of the world, and it has these high tariff barriers. Once we leave the EU, it's inevitable that imports and trade will look around the rest of the world. So we're just doing that for some products and finding the number 2 brandy in the United States, E&J we're adopting here, and the number 1 brandy in Australia. So look around the world, find new products. That's a good thing to do. So President Juncker has provoked us into reviewing where we buy our stuff, and we're finding some good stuff out there. And it'll be even better if we get rid of tariffs.
Right. So finding good stuff out there in terms of products. What about pubs? Are you planning to acquire more locations than you're selling?
Yes, we probably opened up a few too many pubs in the aftermath of the last recession in smaller towns. There were quite a few towns around the company where we opened a second or third pub where we shouldn't have done so. We're still opening pubs, planning to open around a dozen this year. We're obviously quite a mature company now. We've got 900 pubs already, just under 900 pubs already. So less openings than in the past. We've gone from 1 to 900. We'll have to start colonising Australia or America if we want to match Starbucks or McDonald's, I think.